And we'll see her again. We have one more comic for you. And of course, you know this comedian because this comedian, drum roll, is the person that put this on along with me, technically, but it's really mostly him. I help out, but he's doing most of the legwork. And that is Doug X, everyone, lawyer by day, and then comedian by day and night.
Yay, Doug!
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Goldie. And give it up, everybody give it for the host, Goldie. She's amazing.
Yay.
Yay!
Yay.
We put the show on together. I basically chase down the comics, and then Goldie does everything else, literally. Like, I come up with a crap poster, and then she goes, I'm just editing it, and then makes it a fantastic poster. And she's so, but she's all humble about it. It's nauseating. She's like, I just tweaked it a little bit, like someone tweaked a Ford into a Ferrari. Like that's the tweaking she's talking about. And I'm not talking about her drug habit.
There's nothing humble. Yes, we don't have to go there, which I can talk about. That's for part 2. That's the therapy show. It's very similar.
Where is Doug? I don't see him.
What's that?
Doug, I don't see your face.
Devs, wait for it. That's part of his art show. Stop directing other people's work.
Can you see me? I'm not sure what's going on. Can you guys see me?
No, we can't see you.
In your arm. I thought that was intentional. It was like an art statement.
Wait, now? Still no?
Now, you're frozen, is what we've realized. You are frozen on the curtain, though. I thought you might do a nice Wizard of Oz thing, like behind the curtain of the producer. You're back. You see, he did do it. He pulled back the curtain, everyone.
Well, I had to tweak it. It's technology. I'm not good at this.
Wizard of Oz, everyone. Doug X. We restart.
Yay, Doug.
Take it out.
So, it's weird doing comedy, as American democracy is dying, as jackbooted thugs made up some Frankenstein unit of like federal prison officers and immigration is like, mobbing up and destroying Portland. And all the ways I thought Portland would get destroyed. Like I had bets on Godzilla or just one huge pot explosion, but I just thought all the bombs would misfire at once. And it turns out to be a federal invasion. And I'm really upset about that. But if you've seen the video, like they're screaming and they're going, NLG, what are you doing? Call NLG. We're going to find you. We're going to get you out. And I'm very proud to be a member of the Los Angeles National Lawyers Guild, which provides legal observers, which Goldie is one. And what legal observers go out to do is they watch the cops and they write down when the cops misbehave and they try and like get the information of people who've been mistreated by the cops. And which is everybody.
He murdered me. I want you guys to know. So he's doing a little missionary pitch right now, everyone.
Yeah. If you're all interested in becoming a legal observer, there's Zoom training now. You can contact me, but that's not funny. So let me talk about, I think in Los Angeles, there's a tendency to kind of judge yourself by who you're dating. And I mean, that's pretty shallow. I mean, it's not Orange County shallow, but it's still pretty shallow. And because it's a special level of shallowness here. And
we try, we aspire, we look to you.
Yeah.
So teach us, Orange County.
The epitome of shallowness, if that's the right word. The acme of shallowness is Orange County. And I think it's wrong to judge yourself by who you're dating. Not because it's shallow, because it's inaccurate. If you want to get a real good picture of your self-worth, of how you're doing in life, what you want to do is judge yourself by the guy that your girlfriend leaves you for. That provides a real measure of accuracy. Like, if some girl leaves you for some guy who just sold a screenplay for $1 million, hey, you're punching your weight, you're doing okay. If some girl leaves you for a homeless drug dealer, you, my friend, have some work to do. Now, full disclosure, I've been left for a homeless drug dealer. Yet more full disclosure, I've been left twice for a homeless drug dealer. Not the same homeless drug dealer. It's not like he's just like watching my Facebook and like anytime I'm in a relationship, he just DMs the girl and steals her away. Hey, I've got some prime pavement. No. 2 separate girls, 2 separate drug dealers. And the thing is, I can't even blame them. I'm like, that's a good quality life choice. In fact, like I wanted the girl more because I thought that was the best choice she had made in the time I'd known her. Because I'm a handful. I mean, you know, not only am I all this, I got a personality too. And like, I asked my friend Christine, I was like, hey, look, you know, you know me, no one wants to date me. And she goes, no one cares about your looks. They don't get to your looks. It's your horrible personality that repels people first. And I mean, and that's somewhat true, because this is the thing I said. You have to understand, the thing I said to a girl who I loved so much that I would crawl over broken glass for. Like that's how much I loved her. I would do anything for this girl. And at the same time, she said to me once, would you please stop interrupting me? And I said, well, then use shorter, more interesting sentences. I said that to someone I loved, like not even someone I hated, not even someone I was looking to pick a fight with and wanted to, like, you know, throw fists with. That's what I said to someone I loved. So that kind of sets the bar. I mean, that kind of people skills is why I became a lawyer. Because I mean, that you solve disputes as a lawyer, right? That's what you do. That's theoretically what you do. I don't know. So I went to law school at UC Hastings up in San Francisco, and people talk about changing their name. I didn't come out as trans, but I did change my name while I was in law school, and mostly because I learned how to do it, and because like I was like all my life I had this ambition of like not having my father's name because he was a serious asshole, and forever to do it. And the way I learned how was in law school. We had a thing where you could volunteer, and you could help people do name changes as well as like, you know, get restraining orders and do other things like that. And somehow in my head, I was like, oh, if I volunteer at the place where you help people do name changes, after I help like 20 people do name changes, I'll know how to do my own. Never once making the connection of, hey, I could have just gone to that place and asked for help changing my name. Like, kind of building on what Serenity said about like a squirrel. Like, when the pandemic hit and the squirrels in my neighborhood were really like, you know, hurting because there's no one like, you know, doing barbecues or anything. The squirrel ran 3 times around me, plainly asking for help. And I'm like, how the hell you get to the point you can ask another whole species for help? And I can't even ask a close friend. Like, what kind of issues does a squirrel have where it's told, okay, not just asking people who doesn't know, a species that speaks a whole different language. So that was an enlightened squirrel is what I'm trying to say. That's a level of enlightenment that I have not yet hit, because I've never asked a killer whale for help, although I hope someday. And, but it never, the only way I could think of changing my name was if I somehow volunteered and like learned how to help other people do it for like 20, 25 times. And, but I did, I changed my name. And it makes me kind of curious because I don't know, I have a stage name, Doug the letter X, but my actual name is just Doug, last name E-C-K-S. And I don't know if my stage name has a middle name, but my actual name is I was like, how far can I push the boundaries of acceptable names and still work? Because again, I was in law school at the time. And I didn't know that the economy was going to crash and I'd never get a job again. So it turned out I worked for myself anyway, so I don't worry about being hireable. But I changed my middle name to Awesome. Because at the time, I was like in the top, I was number 5 in my law school class. And generally, there was a correlation at the time. If you were in the top 10 of your law school, you would like walk into a 6-figure job when you graduated. And I cannot emphasize how much it did not happen. that is the exact, I mean, but at the time I was feeling good about myself and I changed my middle name to Awesome because I felt I was there. I finally made it to law school and I had no idea the hellscape I was about to descend into, because the gods punish hubris. See, and I read the Odyssey. Like, I know that you can get away with a lot of shit, but you can't get away with hubris. The second you think you're the shit, the gods will just rain fire and hellstorm upon you. But I did it. I was the atheist in a lightning storm saying, there is no God. And I cursed off fate. And here I am, juggling for you guys. That is where I'm at. I learned how to juggle. That's my skill. Because I can't wear a cowboy hat. I can't pull off a cowboy hat like Goldie. But I did date a woman named Goldie, actually. Not you, but another woman. And she chose the name Goldie as her stage name.
Like I was Melissa. You know what? That doesn't really count. So.
Yeah, well, no, her name was Cheryl, but her screen name was Goldie, and she was a
Cheryl,
she was a professional submissive, and like,
Ooh.
but that was her day job, so she would never agree with anything I said. She's like, I've done all the agreeing and kissing ass of men like during the day. This is my time. This is my time off. And if I run the gamut, I've run the gamut of dating from professional submissives to professional dominatrices. So I mean, I don't have a type. And well,
Which one's better?
what?
Which one's better? We like to jump in here on this show. We don't come correctly.
I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like a dominatrix won't put up with your shit, and a submissive will, but you know don't respect her. So I mean, like honestly, it's a tie. That's a terrible way.
So he likes extremes, everyone, because clearly there's nothing in between.
I don't know. Is there a professional neutral? I mean, because it's professional switch.
Okay, so he doesn't want neutral, everyone. I like how this has become a dating show. I'm Patty Singer, like Millionaire Dating. I'm like, he wants a professional neutral. So you better have that on your resume and some sort of proof, because
My
otherwise.
boyfriend's a switch. They're out there.
Nice. Is that better?
That's,
Well, you never know which day you're getting them at, so you
that
don't
is
get to
true.
See, I can handle a switch. What I can't handle is a brat. Like switches, at least you can say, look, today we're doing dom, today we're doing sub. But a brat never. They want it to be a mix. They're like, I want to be a sub. I'm not gonna do what you tell me. Like, fucking pick a side already.
It sounds like, Doug, that you know, that they're asking to be multiple things, and it sounds like they want to be just a regular human, and we don't want that. You know, with all the complexity.
You know,
and
sometimes it's really
perfection.
hot.
And
The dom side will overtake him.
I didn't hear that.
Sometimes it depends on the day, you know, when he's feeling more dominant, it'll just overtake him like he's possessed, and vice versa.
Guys,
I like
this person helps people commit suicide.
This
So
is a BDSM seminar on dating, and I love it. That's, in fact, I think we should just change it, like half comedy show, half seminar.
that's
For future shows.
happening. Yeah.
But I do think that's my time, and so thanks everybody, and thanks again for Goldie.
Thanks everyone, Doug X. Thanks for keeping these shows going and connecting us. It truly, all jokes aside, it does help with mental health. I know I speak for myself too. I have to say that Doug is actually such a kind-hearted person. For all his self-deprecating talk, he did mention, even with this joke about his ex, you know, leaving him for someone worse and how that bothers him. See, I'm the opposite. That's how you know I'm a terrible person. I look and I'm like, I feel better if they're less, if they're doing less, if they're less good looking, they're less intelligent. I'm like, everything less. I'm like, well, good. You didn't do better. You didn't do better than me. So clearly that's, you know, Doug shows a level of maturity and kind-heartedness that even when his ex leaves him, he wants better for them. And I only want worse. So this is where we're at. Doug X, very big sweetheart. And yes, check out How to Become a Legal Observer, because we need them. You do not have to be a lawyer, which I think surprises a lot of people. But just, you know, have a good head on your shoulder. If you're at this comedy show and you laughed at some of the jokes, you're probably fine. You know, you could do worse.